Hello! Just checking, I did press start stream, yes, that's fine. Okay, hello everyone, welcome to session 106 of our D&D campaign. And I suppose session 1 of the third arc, I suppose. Well, welcome everyone. I hope that you are ready for some D&D and getting ready into the world of Orthaid. Has everyone got their drinks and stuff ready?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Cool. Well, in that case, we shall begin. So, last we left off, the heroes of Orthaid, the Clive Five, have just spent the last year and a half resting, recuperating and renovating after the defeat of Naxus, the tyrant of the Basal Tiles. Along the way, they met and lost their friend Gira, the High Librarian sent through time to fix the tempest that was afflicted his homeland, and poisoning, perhaps, the mind of Naxus himself. However, after returning to Orthaid, you all began to find a sense of normality in the day-to-day routines you became used to over the downtime. Over the last year and a half, you've helped rebuild your friends, the Grace of the Crow, resettling them into the Frostbleed Peaks under the protection of Aidmir, as well as build up your bodies, strengths, and minds for whatever future adventures you'll almost certainly go on. You've all decided to meet up at Erstwald after a long period of spending time apart. Erin, after a year of prowling through star charts at her new tower observatory, has sent you all a letter telling you that she plans on explaining her recent findings to you all. Since returning, one by one, a sense of homeliness strikes back into the building of Erstwald once again, as the fires and candles are lit. One by one you return, either through transportation or teleportation, and a sense of nostalgia, I suppose, for adventures past brings warmth to your hearts. As you await Erin's arrival, you have a moment, the four of you have a moment or two to catch up, if you so desire.
Well, hello there, Scrimshaw. How you doing, buddy?
Oh, hey. Haven't seen you in a while.
Oh, no, it's almost been a year, I guess.
Yeah. Still, you still into that whole Feywild thing, or such a phase, or?
No, I've been focusing on that for quite some time. Been talking with former assistant about this object. Been doing some research here and there. Found some important things.
Oh.
But, I've been, as you probably know, I've been building a new biography, or shall I say, part of a biography. I don't know the first half of his life, but I feel like honoring Gira's life with the creation of a series of poems about what he's accomplished in the Clive Five.
That sounds nice.
Yeah, it's lovely.
You have to read us one sometime.
Yes, if.
In fact, why don't you read us the whole book right now?
Go fuck yourself!
God, you've had a year to write it, so...
Shodok reads a poem.
Okay. Is the poem sort of still under draft?
Yeah, it's kind of like an early draft of like a kind of like skaldic style poem.
Cool. Give us a performance check.
Okay, sure. I should be good at this.
Are there like little notes in it that's like, what rhymes with scratch? what rhymes with orange?
Okay, so Chinook starts strongly, going over his notes that he's procured of some of the songs that he's written. They tell a wonderful tale of Chinook's interpretations of Gira.
One where Sherlock has a six-pack.
Oh yeah, of course. You know, Chinook's the hero. as much can be expected. Well, excellent. Yes. What's so? Yeah. So at this moment, you're sort of waiting for Erin to arrive. You hear a knock on the door, which you take to be Erin. As you who's going to open the door?
I'll open the
do it.
door.
Okay. Well, both Morna and Chinook rush to open the door, eager to make Erin happy. You open the door and see a familiar face. This is not Erin.
No, you're not Aaron.
Matt, would you like to introduce Gideon to the party?
Yeah, sure. So standing before you is the familiar sight to Morna Scripture and Roxon of Gideon. He looks a bit older. It's been a few years since you would have last seen him, and puberty has finally caught up to him a bit. Just a little though. He doesn't really have a hat, but you kind of see this kind of tuft of dark hair, not particularly long. I don't know if you got the photo up. I sent some stuff around, but I don't know if Mike's had a chance to.
Well, it's on the stream, I think. Up in
Okay. Yeah, but he he's kind of wearing finery that you might assume to be kind of Eshmani. A kind of shawl that kind of covers over the top, and you can see below some of kind of maybe the stuff he's more familiarly wore when he was a member of the Clive Five. But time has made it a little more kind of dirty and mucky. But he seems quite stern, but there's a kind of charm in his eyes, kind of set back. And just for note, the shawl is kind of covering most of him, kind of up to about his kind of just below his knees. So you can't really see anything else other than that.
I'm sorry, but the homeless shelter is over in that direction.
Gideon!
See you later.
Gideon!
I
Roxon's
run
gonna
up
run
and
up.
give
No,
him a big
Roxon
hug.
won't. No,
We,
Roxon won't.
we both run up and give you a big hug.
Okay, you hug him first, and then Roxon hugs both of you and lifts you up.
Roxanne, you're
Ah,
my ribs. I'd rather you didn't. Please.
Oh, I missed you.
Gideon blinks into the house onto a chair and kind of like kicks his feet up
Where'd
on
he
it. Blimey, I forgot how strong your grip was, Roxanne.
Yes, it's got even stronger.
Well, how are you? He kind of looks around at the place. You seem to have done absolutely nothing with this place since I've last seen it.
Not a thing.
Well, fuck you. I've been decorating.
Well, we
Have you?
did actually put in a war room upstairs.
Yeah.
Gideon kind of ignores those thoughts and he kind of gets up to his feet pretty promptly and kind of just, after Chinook said what he said, he kind of goes right up to him in front of him, kind of eyes him up and down, kind of a foot away, not menacing particularly. Chinook,
Like,
I
what do you
presume.
do? Yes. And judging from the loud screaming, you're Gideon. It's a pleasure to meet you.
He kind of squints his eyes a bit and then just smiles and holds a hand out. Likewise.
Chinook's gonna squint and shake the hand. He's not sure what Gideon's angle is. Like, sure.
Anyway,
what-
and he kind of turns away from him straight away and sits back down.
Yeah, what?
So what
What
have you
brings
been
you
up to?
Oh, this and that. You don't really want to know about that right now, do you?
Yes, we do.
Well, you're gonna have to wait, and I'm not sure I'm ready to just, splurge my many wondrous adventures to strangers.
Whoa. Would you call us strangers?
No, not you, Mona. You're basically a sister at this point. It's more
About Chinook.
for him,
Oh.
but I recognize this adventuring business. Comes with a few professional hazards. Give it time. But yeah, happy to explain why I'm here, but how are you guys?
Brilliant.
People
heard-
died horribly.
Yeah, that's right. I heard you caused quite the ruckus in the Basalt Isles about a year and a half now. You know, you really should be careful what you leave. I did a little trek myself there about 6 months afterwards, and whew, you guys left some splinters around there.
Did we? Oh, did you meet the angry head?
Angry Head.
Oh, don't worry.
It ate my soul. It's fine.
It ate Shunuk soul and then tried to make me kill him.
Oh, yeah, no idea what you're on about. Anyway, moving on. He kind of just diverts from that point very quickly.
Insight check.
Wait, you're not the head, are you?
Go on then, Chinook, roll an insight check.
Sure. Okay. Insight check.
What am I rolling?
What was it? Deception, or did you want to do a persuasion? Or?
No. What do you? That's the Chinook, right?
It's your choice. No, yeah, it's you, Gideon.
Oh, let's do deception check. I'm not very good.
Oh god.
Yeah, Chinook, something seems fishy.
Shunnock's just gonna kind of silently sip his tea while just like narrowing his eyes at Gideon.
Hey, what's that? And he just points on the table at like a walking stick.
It's
Oh.
a stick.
Curious.
It belonged to
You recognize it?
Wow.
You recognize it obviously as Gira's walking stick.
belonged to Gira. I don't know. you have,
You're Dragonborn, right?
Yes.
yeah. Passed away when we were, well, as far as we know anyway. I believe he passed away when clearing up the whole Basalt Isles business.
Gave his
Have you-
life to
you-
save all of us.
You mentioned some splinters. I haven't had the chance to go back and check up on the whole post-war thing. What exactly is going on there?
Well, pretty much what you'd expect. Society crumbles, rebuilds. Pretty normal, right? Is there anything specific you want to know?
I don't suppose you ran into Massamantha when you were there,
Or Shai.
or Shai.
Now, this was something I wanted to hear. How the hell did you get her out of the old bull?
Wait, so
The thing was damn impenetrable.
you did see them?
I can tell you how we got it out the Oak Bull. I rescued the Oak Bull personally from the Arcanum and Baratham
With help.
by myself, and then and then Roxanne smashed the ball it was being kept in.
I'm pretty
Oh.
sure Gira smashed it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Gira stole all my fun.
Oh,
I
in any
also
case,
wanted to smash it.
that's pretty impressive that you guys were single-handedly able to end that. Well,
What have you been up to? I haven't seen you at all, and it's been quite some time.
who, me?
Yes. Surely you've also been, you know, saving the world and the like.
Oh, kind of eyes a couple of the other members of the Clive Five a little bit. I had to go for a few reasons. I wanted to be a bit stronger, and so I went with Aaron and Eliriel and Brainleaf to Ishmolan, sorry, where I trained and spent some time, got very lost on my books, and here I am. Had a good story.
I'm just gonna like
Very
kind of
well.
get up a bit close and just. You didn't kind of like looking like kind of peer towards Morna. You haven't become a necromancer, have you?
You're funny, Scrimshaw.
Because that seemed to be something that you were interested in when you left, and we were a bit concerned.
Go on. He looks at Chinook. He's a magic person, isn't he? Go ahead, try me. Am I a necromancer?
Can I suss out Gideon?
Yeah, it doesn't have any skulls on him.
Yeah.
Yes,
Is-
you don't look evil.
If I-
Like, do I spot like runes around that are specifically necromancy style, like around like arcane focuses?
If
or...
I-
Make an Arcana
if I-
check, Chinook.
If I put a hand on his shoulder, is the arcane ward still there?
What Arcane Ward?
From when Gideon...
I mean,
The arcane ward that Gideon would
I-
usually have. Well, from at least when we knew him.
Oh, right.
yeah. So I can kind of answer based on the score you've given if you want.
Go ahead.
I know if you want to do it, Mike.
No, you go on.
Yeah, so you detect a few kind of faint various arcane spells on Gideon. I would say abjuration. I would also say hold on. Also a little bit of a tiny amount of illusion magic, but that's about it.
Is it to make him seem taller?
Actually,
Dispel magic.
hasn't actually grown at all.
It's been 10 minutes and you've immediately gone with the short jokes.
Further along in puberty than he really is. He's actually gone further behind.
Yeah. Did you want to carry on that?
Well, I look at Chinook with a kind of an eyebrow raised.
I don't think you're a necromancer. Though if you were a necromancer, I would imagine you would put whatever skills you had in hiding it.
Very good.
Necromancy doesn't tend to be rather accepted among civilized people.
Rude, but I disagree with your logic. Okay, so let's assume that I have disguised my necromantic abilities. Now what? What would I want to do?
What do you want to do?
What I want to do? Well, I'm really glad you asked, Mona. I want to actually uphold our duty as the bearers of the mantle of responsibility and stop that planet you might hear of from ruining us all.
Where did you hear about that?
Where did I hear about that? Look at me. Don't you see a master wizard when you see one?
It's magic.
There are plenty master wizards out there.
Well, I'm one of them.
Where's your hat gone?
Oh, that thing. I had a couple, didn't I? But it's a bit hot in Eshmalin. It wasn't really the vibe.
You're not in Eshmalin anymore.
I'm imagining a burgundy beret, but but I
Alright.
feel like that's wrong.
More of a dancing coast vibe. Is pretty
Oh.
hip and cool where I was at. Having said that, I spent a lot of time in books, so I wouldn't really mind that too much. But no, it was Aaron. Thank you for who told me about it.
Aaron.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, it was a nice wedding, wasn't it? The other day. Sorry, a while ago. I must apologize for not showing myself. The Arcanum's still not particularly big fans of me.
Well, you better stay under wraps then.
Yeah, about that, it's quite useful if I had your help at some point on that issue, but not a massive priority.
You hear a thump down in the basement.
Well, that must be them.
Yeah. After a couple of moments, you see Aaron tentatively stepping up the basement door, the steps into the kitchen, where she sort of locks eyes with you all. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, hello.
She sees you, Gideon, and she smiles and sort of runs up to you and says, "Oh, Gideon, brilliant. I'm glad you're here."
Nice to see you. Jeez, enough of these hugs, everyone.
Well, you have grown. Anyway,
In a lot of places.
yes. Well,
Um,
yes. Well, I'm going to pretend I didn't hear that. Aaron says.
Shunnock's
Uh-oh.
laugh is 100% in character. He's on the floor just like giggling like a maniac.
Oh, that's coincidence. I've grown in a lot of places as well. All that training doing the all that training with the carrying all the rocks got me a little bit bigger.
Erin begins to march upstairs to the war room.
Do you think she's mad?
I think
Why did you say
it's
that?
I think there's something we need to discuss in private. Hence the war room.
Sure.
Yes, it's lead lined, so.
All right, so you go upstairs and follow Erin into the war room, where she begins to pull a series of sort of like large maps and star charts out of her bag of holding, and begins to lay them out on the war room table in a sort of mad rush. And you look as the nine intelligible charts. They're joined with cords of coloured string and coloured pins, creating a sort of spider web-like mess upon the pages. She sort of sighs, looking down at it, and looks back up at you all and says, "I promise it's not as crazy as it looks."
If anything, that
Okay.
makes things worse. Usually things tend to be a lot crazier than they look.
Well, I'm glad you're optimistic, Chinook. She sort of smiles wryly. As you can see, I've been busy, and I think I've come to a rather insightful conclusion.
Okay.
She points to the top right corner of the star map. There's these sort of cluster of pins marking the page, representing something clearly important that she wants us to know about. She says, "This is us." You lean forward to see her pointing out a pin amongst the cluster, one of which is coloured blue, which she's pointing to. Ed, the material plane, etc. This is us. Everything we're fighting for. It looks rather pathetic compared to the rest of the star map, doesn't it?
Maybe.
You see that hundreds, maybe even thousands of other coloured pins mark the other regions on the map, some clearly extremely far away. She points to a few pins, maybe 10 or 11. You watch as her finger sort of goes down to somewhere more in the centre of the star chart, where maybe 10 or 11 of them are coloured black. She says, "Well, these are the victims. Husks of planets now devoid of almost all magical energy. They seem to have been chosen in some way."
So
Am I making sense, or?
So one of these is likely the one that we saw being evacuated, I think.
Yes, I mean, very possibly. It'd be very difficult to work out exactly which one it is. But I have spent the last year looking at the skies. So,
How far away is that?
well, it is rather a long distance. But let me explain some more, I suppose. In my investigation, it seems that planes once considered separate to each other. They seem to be located distinctly across the stars. Different areas of the, let's call it a galaxy, seem to attract magic differently. And whether that's because of the inhabitants of those regions or because of cosmic forces yet unknown, it's not up for me to decide. But it did draw my eye to the areas of the galaxy which seemed to be devoid of life, of magic, of essence. And what I found rather scared me. The planet-born dead, she points to a pin on the map which is marked as sort of like pale green. She says, is moving, and rather quickly. Slowly for us, luckily, but still quicker than expected. She looks up and ruffles her hair nervously.
How long do we have?
Well, by my estimate, we have the best part of a year. In 6 months, it'll be visible to the human eye. By 9 months, it'll be as large as the sun, and in 11 months, it will take up most of the sky.
Shit.
Wait, how big is it compared to our planet?
It's very big. She sort of again chuckles quite nervously.
Bigger than ours?
Yes, much bigger.
We're in a planet measuring contest.
Well, I probably don't need to explain why that's bad. The planet Born Dead, it attracts magical essence, from what I can tell. So we will start to feel those effects much sooner than by the time it actually arrives. And it may start to affect some people who have been brought back through resurrection. Wounds may begin to reopen. So the sooner we find out what we're doing, the better.
Glares at Chinook.
Oh god.
Gothric!
Gothric, no!
Gothric becomes a nuke.
Aaron, this is all well and good, but have you got any leads?
Right, well, she laughs nervously again. So I suppose this comes to the end of my pitch. I kind of need you to get to one of these planets and explore it.
Why?
How?
Wait, the
With a
dead.
dragon, we could ride on a dragon.
Well, I know what you're thinking. Hold on, just a second. I have, luckily, this. And she reaches into her bag of holding and procures a tuning fork. Chinook, you recognize it as the one which you previously saw that went to the Shadowfell? She says, from my estimations, reports of Shadowfell and negative energy planes seem to correlate with planets which have been harmed by the planet Born Dead. If I'm correct, it will take you to at least one of these pins.
And what do we?
Okay, let's do it.
Well,
Wait, is this-
hold
is
on
this-
here.
is this- Is this planet the source of the Shadowfell?
Like I explained before, previous Magisters got it wrong in that they thought that different planes were somehow separated from each other. The Shadowfell and the negative energy planes seem to just be areas that are lacking in magic. And sort of lacking in life essence, I suppose.
But what if we go there and for whatever reason magic stops working? How do we come back?
Well, your magic should be fine. Your connection to the source is still there. It's these planets which, in their proximity to the planet Born Dead, seem to somehow, I'm not sure how, which is why I need your help, it seems to remove their connection to magic at all. It seems to sort of make them fade away, I suppose, and die.
Well, that sounds lovely.
Which I fear is going to be the fate of this planet as well, in, well, a year-ish.
About 4 months ago, Aaron, me and Guy I knew, we ran a little fun experiment after you told me about the planet Born Dead. We wanted to divine what our odds were of all of this. And the spell we used kind of broke my mentor, master person. And I don't think it was a very positive outcome to the spell. Not much hope here.
What was your question, sorry?
Well, there was no question. It was more just a statement to say that this is going to be pretty rough.
Yes, of course. But there is, unfortunately, no one currently more suited for the role, as far as I can find.
Well, of course not.
Are you telling us to go here now, or?
No, absolutely not. Again, whatever information you find, this is something that you will want to at least spend a good few days traveling and exploring, and coming across what you come across. Anything in terms of ruins, anything
Are
that
you going to this planet now?
No. Take your time, and there's no rush necessarily. Feel free to message me at any point, and I will send you on your way. But again, it is entirely your choice when you want to go. I don't want to ask you to go immediately. Take a few days, think about it, do whatever you want, but get back to me soon.
Okay.
But the sooner we can find something, and bring back anything which can help me unravel the secrets of the planet-born dead, we have more of a chance of finding a way to destroy it, I suppose, before it reaches us.
Hmm. Is it possible to destroy a planet?
If you blow things up large enough, I assume so.
We're going to have to hope, at least.
You'd need an explosive the size of our own planet.
Or an explosive in the right spot.
EA could always use an elder box, but we seem to be pretty good at holding those things with ourselves. I glints over.
Just like, look, just avoid eye contact.
Well, I suppose that's something I could look into, Aaron says. But also, I suppose that there's a question of... Well, it's one thing teleporting to planets which have been affected by the properties of the planet-born dead, but actually getting onto the planet-born dead might be a challenge in and of itself.
Planet might even send people outside of itself to stop us on the way alongside all of the other issues.
I can't help but feel that it will require some thinking, and again, this is something that if you ever feel like that you need to be of use in terms of the fight against this thing, come and find me, and I will send you on your way. But other than that, your time is your own.
And what of the council? Council
Well,
Royal.
okay. So I have spoken. I've spoken about setting up a meeting and talking about this more clearly. The issue is I don't want this information to get out and necessarily set off a panic.
That is wise.
It will be talked about in the Council of Orthaid session soon, I'm sure. But again, it might be hard to get a unanimous sort of consensus on the issue. Which is why I think this is probably good to do now, so we have as much information as possible before I sort of propose it to them.
Right. Well, Gideon, you said you wanted to join in, take up the mantle of responsibility once more. Here's your chance.
We'd be honoured if you joined us.
Some time ago, I ran away from you guys. We, Warner and Grimshaw, you can look at that. I don't know if you remember, but you said you wanted to help me. And my first response, which I was an orphan, was to run away into a forest, and I ended up getting kidnapped.
I do, in fact, remember that.
I've come a long way since then, and I'm done with running away. So I'm in. Whatever you guys need,
Woo.
I'll be
Right.
here. I'm ready to make sure you're all kept safe.
Well, with what we're going to be potentially coming up against, to be clear, there may be times where we may need to run away.
Running away is always an option.
Yeah. Run away, fight again another day, sometimes.
Don't disagree there. It was a metaphor. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just being clear. Just want to.
And
Yeah.
to be honest, you're not. You're gonna be fine. You got me now.
Well, if we're going to be doing this, what have you
And yes, please also don't die. Aaron said.
yes, we will try. Wait,
We'll
if
try.
we
There's
die,
Chinook again.
if we die while we're there, is that reversible?
I would
Do
rather
that.
I would rather you didn't think about it too deeply, and get home safely and be prepared. But don't overthink it.
So maybe.
I don't know is the answer. You might have to do some tests of your own. I cannot
Tests?
go with you.
I'd
on
rather
that.
not test this.
I'm far too busy and I can't go with you, unfortunately. So, yes, best of luck.
Damn.
Aaron sort of shyly tiptoes off and teleports back to her tower.
Well, bye.
You know, she never gave me a thank you card for the present I gave her for her wedding.
What did you get her?
That was a stopwatch. Old heirloom, found it lying around.
For a brief second
Maybe
there, I thought
because-
he was going to say, "Oh, I gave her a little rose in a box," pretended it was from.
Fucking Christ.
Well, excellent. What would you? So, what are your feelings on everything? What do you want to do?
Well, I know you've just arrived, Gideon, but I guess that means you're already packed.
Yeah. In a matter of ways, my stuff is always on me.
Shall we?
With glints.
Should we do this? I don't see anything. I mean, there's nothing I need to do.
I'm pretty good to go.
I should probably say goodbye to Aidmere if we're gonna go away for a long time. I'll just write her a letter.
There is still the issue of Feywild to deal with, but that can be left on hold for quite a while before we come back.
May I ask?
You
Like,
may
you know who I'm
ask,
getting
but I
in
may
bed with?
Oh, it's a long story.
You may ask, but I don't need to answer.
Yeah, touche. I suppose that makes sense.
Oh, this is going to be fun.
Will I end up in a pile of mush? Tunic.
Sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
Gideon said, will he end up in a pile of mush on the Feywild thing?
Oh, possibly. It's very much a potential outcome.
Sounds
You
like good old
know,
days.
The more you talk about the Feywild, the more I just don't want to go.
It's a lovely place.
Yeah, I
you
agree.
keep saying it's a lovely place, but
Gideon,
but for one, you said that I can't use my name because apparently that makes me a slave. If they know my name.
Gideon, you seem rather intelligent. Surely you've read something about the Feywild in your studies.
Yeah, of course. But you know, my thing in the Feywild is a pretty vague lead.
Oh, revolution, that kind of thing.
Yeah, of course, of course. Isn't it? I always like to think of the Feywild as in a permanent state of revolution.
That's
Pure
accurate.
chaos.
That is completely accurate.
So. Hmm.
But
Right.
I'm happy to go to this bleak planet of doom and destruction as well.
It's good to me.
I wonder which one of those pins was the Feywild.
Could Gideon do like a history? I don't know. Is there some kind of check? See if any idea.
Give me a general intelligence check.
Can Shunik help as well?
Yeah,
Something
it's great.
from there.
Yeah, with advantage, Gideon.
Yeah.
Okay, so with the Shunik's help, you sort of get a good outline of what this collection of documents is. They're not particularly well labelled. They seem to be more colour-coded. So whilst there's not particular ones that say Feywild on them, there's a particular pattern of like purple pins, which seem to correlate to maybe what Aaron assumes as areas of what is described normally as the Feywild.
Does it look like it's kind of closer in the line of fire to the planet Born Dead, so to speak?
But it's sort of the Feywild sort of is all over the place around you, really. So there are a few places closer to you, and some places sort of more in the way, and there's some places which are further away.
Well, myself and Shunik articulate that and find great camaraderie in our fellow pursuit of knowledge.
Sure.
Begrudgingly, maybe for some.
Oh, hey everyone! You see Halcyon standing at the doorway.
Oh, Halcyon!
Hello.
Oh, I thought you were going to wake me. How are you? How have you all been? It's been a while.
Yeah, we've been good, thanks. How are you?
Good. As you know, I moved back here.
It's been a
Oh,
fake
great.
wild.
Haha. How's Clive?
Oh, doing absolutely amazing.
Brilliant.
But if you want to visit him, you should probably do it soon.
What?
Oh, no.
Why?
Oh, just because he wants company.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm Gideon. Oh, Gideon. Halcyon looks at you.
He comes forward and kind of comes up to her and gives her a hug.
She gives you a hug back, and then she sort of like opens her purse and gives you a sweet.
He looks at it kind of confusingly and looks back up at her.
Just eat the sweet good.
Just like old times, Gideon. You might be taller now, but you'll always be that cute, soft-faced boy that I met in Port Delron.
Oh.
Very kind of you.
Saved me from Maras.
Oh.
It's very kind of you. And he eats the sweet, and he doesn't
It's
particularly
really
like the
bad.
taste, but he smiles through the pain.
Oh, it's actually not really sugar. It's sort of a natural substitute.
Oh God.
It's cocaine.
No,
So, get him.
it's some form of date syrup, so it helps with your bowels.
Oh, God. She just gave
Such a
Yeah.
grandma sweet to give.
Well, I'm
Maybe we
so
should-
excited.
Maybe we
But-
should give it like half an hour or so before we head out.
Yeah.
Give that
Well-
some time to go
Well,
down.
I need to say goodbye to Clive.
Yes, do it soon.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
When you say soon, like, are you talking days, weeks?
Well, not a year and a half like last time, Scrimshaw.
Yes, Scrimshaw.
Fair.
I feel like her eye is twitching as she says that.
I go and say hello to Clive.
Okay, yeah, you go in and you see Clive looking quite weak, sort of still standing tall, still looking proud in a sort of like strange sense. But he is considerably skinnier and he is a bit more grey than when you last saw him.
I give him a treat if there are any treats around. Like a
Yeah.
carrot or something.
Yeah, absolutely. He just sort of begins chomping on them sort of like slowly and almost mournfully.
Gideon gives Clive a stroke. He gives him a stroke.
I cast Phantasmal Killer. No, I don't.
Oh,
Cast that on him. I'll cast kill on you.
I'm kind of surprised he's still here.
Yeah. It's an old horse now.
Hey, do you remember when we got this horse?
Yeah.
In Pessa?
That's right.
There's a town just outside Pessa, I think.
You know, we could have chosen any of the actual normal horses. I'm pretty sure there was more than just him.
There's just
But
an old
Clive's
man
a
on the
god.
road who wanted some money.
Well, I hope he's had a nice retirement.
Could have stolen a horse, Halcyon says.
Halcyon, what is the matter with you?
She's a very valid point she makes.
I was the heir to a massive crime fortune, alright?
Oh my god. The more,
What?
the more Halcyon reveals, the more I'm worried.
I thought this much was obvious. I thought you guys just knew.
Yeah, after the whole, peasant bashing incident, becoming more obvious.
No, yeah, it was all above board crime. None of that
Okay.
down in the dirty crime. None of that.
What's dirty crime and what's clean crime?
You know, honourable crime like thieving and taking from people
I'm not sure that's.
and smuggling. Smuggling is a very honourable crime.
Oh god. Smuggling what?
I feel like it depends what you're smuggling, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't people. Before you say
Uh,
anything.
yeah, I was going to say you and Gideon could have a great conversation.
Oh no.
No, it was rare sort of banned forms of alcohol, and mostly sort of like getting past taxes and the like.
Halcyon's Al Capone.
Yes, well, unfortunately, when my husband bit the dust, he left me quite a bit of inheritance. So ever since I've lived a clean life since then.
Nice.
And because there's no such thing as a police force in Port Darwin, no one will ever find out.
God.
The perfect crime.
Well, what an exciting bit of storytelling for my part. I'm going to go now and make a hot beverage of some sort.
We might not be here when you're gone. We're going on one of our things.
Are you going now? You've just got here.
Right, we can stay for half an hour or an hour or so. Maybe have some tea.
I'd love a cup of tea.
Oh, right. So I'm just going to serve you drinks for an extra half an hour.
I never said anything about you serving us drinks. I just
Yeah.
said we're gonna have a cup of tea.
I just
Well-
assumed you would make us tea.
Right. Well, this is what I mean. And Halcyon goes into her. I was going to make you tea, but it's not because of that.
Okay. 2 sugars, please.
Sure. And extra date syrup for you, Roxanne.
No, I'm quite fine. My bowels work perfectly.
That's
you-
such a weird brag.
I heard you screaming the other day.
Hey, I ate something funny. Okay, that's
I mean-
not my fault.
You know, you can eat things other than steak.
Like what? Chicken steak?
Like vegetables.
Veg.
Yeah.
Like.
I know you don't. I know you don't have masses and masses of vegetables in the Frostbleed Peaks, but they're pretty
Yeah, we just
plentiful
have
around
meat.
here.
Vegetables. I'll have to investigate. But not right now. Right now, I want steak.
House.
It's 7 in the morning, my friend.
Yeah, morning steak. Steak with eggs. Anyway.
Say that shooting fork. Who's how do you use this thing? I've seen these in textbooks, but I've never.
I'm very familiar with how to travel between the planes.
Very
I
good.
will leave it.
So, are you the leader for this little expedition? I don't know if there's a leader or anything now.
I don't like the idea
I
of
don't
being
like
a-
You don't like the idea of there being a leader?
No. Leaders aren't always necessary.
And just to
Okay,
be
so I
clear,
guess-
that doesn't mean that there's a vacuum for a leader.
Oh, please, no ambitions here.
Yeah, we've never, I don't think we've ever really
We're all far too stubborn
worked
for
on
this
that
on one
kind of
person.
basis.
That
I
is...
thought I was the leader.
You're not the leader. If anyone's the leader, it's me, because I'm the biggest, and I'm the knight here. So I have the most authority.
I mean, when we were on the ship, I was the captain.
Yeah, well, that doesn't count. We're not on a ship. We're not on the sea. We're on the land.
I mean, if you think about it, the land is just a really big ship.
I'm sorry I said anything. I feel like I've opened a bit of a wound here, guys, so I'm just gonna neatly tie it back up again and move back to my previous point about the tuning fork.
I will use it. I can attune it to my flute and whisk us away.
Cool. Well, we do it?
Yeah, I'm happy to go.
I'm more than happy to go.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
just to reiterate before we go, my point earlier, I'm serious that there's not much hope in this at all.
Well, aren't
Yeah.
you just an optimistic little bastard? We'll be fine.
Ever the optimist.
Thank you. As a compliment.
Okay, so you look down on the table at the tuning fork that Aaron left behind. It seems to be sort of like when you pick it up, it seems to be quite heavy, sort of metal, and ringing it slightly. It seems to have quite a low, dumb sort of low hum to it. That when you put up to your ear, it's almost mesmerizing in that it's just so strange sounding.
Alright.
You can spend some time attuning it to your flute.
Yeah. I'm going to cast the plane shift spell with my flute.
Cool. What's everyone else doing during that sort of moment? Anything? Any last things that people wanted to do?
Oh yeah. Let's tell her that I was going away for a bit.
Oh, you're writing a letter, are you?
Yeah, I'd feel like there's probably a better way to get this to her, but I don't know anyone with magic who could send. Oh, Gideon! Is there any way you can send this letter, magical boy?
Oh,
Man.
if you're sending a letter to Amy, can you say hi from me too, please?
Yeah, sure.
P.S. Roxanne says hi.
Did you ever meet Aidmere?
Yes, she's my sister.
No, not you. Gideon.
Oh. Well, that makes much more sense.
No, I can't say I'm familiar.
Well, you probably can't send this letter to her then.
Sadly not, but isn't there a teleportation circuit or something? You can give it to Halcyon or pay her to do it. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll get Halcyon to find some way to send it. This is my girlfriend, Aidmere. I'll tell you about her.
I am very excited to hear this story.
She goes to another school.
In Canada.
Yeah, she's super hot.
Yeah, but she's really shy. She doesn't like to, and she doesn't have a webcam.
All right, give me the letter then. Halcyon says.
Thank you, Halcyon.
Oh, where did you come from?
I'll just trek the 2 miles down to Darkbridge and get some snail mail person to take it.
Thank you, Halcyon.
Oh, Darkbridge is looking so nice now. Ever since those cultists moved away.
Yeah.
Oh, right, yeah, we're the Lords of Darkbridge now, right?
Yes. Well, someone's had to rule in your stead.
Oh god, you've been ruling.
Not with an iron fist, with a grace fit for a lord, I suppose.
Alright, you guys are all lords now. Very nice. Very
I mean,
nice.
I was a lord when you met me.
Well, shit.
One time I went to a party and I was named the Lord of an obscure riverbank somewhere.
I'll pretend to know what that means.
It's just
I
a
also
fey
don't know
thing.
what that's supposed to
Oh, it's just a Fae thing. You wouldn't get it.
Well, I'm sure you'll have to explain it to me in great detail at some point.
So, yeah, what has been happening with the town?
Oh,
Is it anything we should know about?
No, the cleric, the cultists just sort of moved off on their own volition. Actually,
Did you do a little bonk bonk,
Stab, stab. Burn, burn.
rough up, send in the boys?
no, I'm being serious. The Tempest Brand came in there, and then they were gone after a while.
Oh,
That's somehow worse.
Yeah, no, an Inquisitor was involved in everything.
oh.
They
Right.
never managed to find the woman. What was her name? Miss Farrow?
Hmm.
Or whatever her name was after she came back from the dead.
But
No,
never
she,
pretended to blow herself up.
No, they never found her afterwards.
just had a thought. I feel like it's better that I use my sending stone Harmon to tell her that I'm going and ask her to tell Aidmere instead of sending a letter, because that's going to take months.
Oh, yeah.
So-
Talman can probably just go tell her today.
Yeah,
She can run real
Yeah.
I'll
fast.
do that instead.
Alright, so you're gonna sort of like sending stone to Talman, get the message across and going.
Yeah, just so everyone knows. I'm going.
XOXOXO.
Yeah.
Alright. Everyone good?
Yeah.
Alright, so Chinook begin to attune to the tuning fork, trying to play the low guttural sounds that is coming from within it, and trying to match it. After a few minutes, you manage to get the pitch, and you blow into your flute, creating a portal, which everyone can freely step through if they wish. It seems to sort of almost be a shimmering, almost like a pool of mercury, and you can sort of see your reflection broken up, like a broken glass mirror through it. And sort of almost like faintly on the other side, you can sort of see like the silhouettes of maybe trees.
Well, how about I go first, just in case there isn't any air?
Okay,
I
put a
mean,
hand
sure.
through. With a thumbs up.
Okay, will do. I will step through the portal.
Okay. Everyone else following?
Sure. I'll be the second through.
Is
Yes.
there air? Can I tell if there's air?
Yeah, there's a.
I'll just kind of
So you-
poke my face back through. Well, there's some kind of gas. Whether it's breathable or not, I actually don't know, but it's there. And then pull back through.
Okay, so one by one, you all begin to step through. Halcyon says, "I don't like the look of that, but enjoy. Have a good adventure."
We will.
Snaps my fingers and the portal closes.
Portal closes behind you. You all step forward and arrive one by one into a dark, twisted forest. All the trees around you have no leaves, no signs of life. They all have this sort of like blackened crust almost on the outside of them that has almost preserved them or petrified them in some way. They're just sort of like the actual tree trunks themselves have remained. The first thing you sort of notice is the just sheer, utter silence, which is broken by the occasional breaking of leaves, which have long hardened and are sort of almost like stepping on sort of masonry or like porcelain under your feet as you sort of step down, and like puffs of dust sort of kick up a little bit as you sort of begin moving around in this clearing. The sky above you is washed with a dark purple, and thick stormy clouds blast regular flashes of lightning to illuminate sort of the ground around you. And you notice all the trees around you, the shadows that are cast by these lightning flashes, sort of make the trees almost look like they're writhing in torment. Although absolutely nothing actually moves here. There's no sounds of insects or ground nesting animals to ground you, or birds singing in the trees. There's just a feeling of death here, and a feeling of just sheer sorrow.
Yeesh.
Yeah, so that's a word for it.
Is there any like geographic features of note that we can see?
Make a
around us?
perception check for me. So, sort of looking around, the first things you notice is you're inside a clearing of some sort, and on the ground beside you, you see sort of like half toppled over ancient stones, maybe some sort of stone circle of some sort. There seems to be like almost like in the clouds, a bit of just directly above the stone circle. There's like a break in it, and some light is sort of almost trickling through, just about illuminating the interior of the stone circle. But the dark sort of sky and clouds is making everything very dark and sort of gloomy around you. The stone circles seem to have some markings on them, but they've been long sort of eroded almost, and they're quite hard to read at all. Mona, can you read different languages? You can't, can you? It's just you can comprehend them.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah. Well, you understand all spoken languages. Yeah. Yeah. So the sort of languages on this one seem to be like some ancient form of pictograms or something. And there's like a bunch of different sort of like half eroded lines that have maybe are telling some sort of story.
I do know primordial.
It's not that, unfortunately.
Helpful.
I take it it's neither common, elven, Faranese, or infernal.
No, it's a language that none of you have ever even seen before.
Okay.
Shame there's no kind of cipher anywhere. I doubt you're going to get anything like that. Does it look like any kind of language at all? Like, I don't know, even like the kind of the root of the kind of the idea of the symbols kind of correlates to something else.
Like a similar script.
Make a history check.
Okay.
They seem to be in a different style. Like, obviously, from your research in Ishmael, you know quite a lot about the first languages of Erd. Their sort of common roots, which is sort of like they all have a common root through the Celestial language, which is like the original sort of language that everyone spoke. So all language. What was that?
Oh, something just fell.
Okay. So there seems to be some sort of like link in Erdish languages that all seem to link towards Celestial. You don't see any link there towards Celestial in this type of language. If anything, there might be a very faint, strange, ancient link between something like Abyssal. But it's like many generations removed, and a knowledge of the Abyssal language wouldn't necessarily help.
Richard, are you talking?
No?
Oh, I thought I heard you talking downstairs.
That was probably me rattling my popcorn.
Oh.
What about a detect magic? What does that suggest?
Are you casting Detect Magic?
Yeah.
Okay, so your eyes glow with the sort of look of focusing on arcane magic, and as you look around, you notice that the stone circles are faintly glowing magic. It seems to be some sort of transmutation magic, I suppose.
And
however,
it's located into the stone circles, right?
Yes. It seems to be these stone circles are some sort of link between realms, or the tuning fork is attuned to this location in particular, maybe.
Yeah, I mean Gideon relays those ideas to the party.
perhaps this is or was, in their world, something similar to a teleportation circle.
The question is, why here? I can't see anything else of note around here.
Could I make an Arcana check to see if, like... Because I imagine there are certain places that are attuned to other planes more so than others, and this is probably something like that, right?
Yeah, so this seems to be like what is commonly described as the sort of Shadowfell world. It seems to be like fairly on the edge of life and death. Yeah.
I mean, as in, like, a place that is more, like, attuned to other realms, like, more easy to access from other places.
Oh, make an Arcana check for me. You seem to notice that in the skies, there seems to be like when the clouds above flash with lightning, the lightning always seems to be in a particular like orientation. It almost seems to take like almost some form of ley line, where all the lightning is like converging at a certain point, and it seems to be off in the horizon. And when the lightning flashes, you notice that there's sort of like a silhouette of maybe like a city or something in the distance.
Right. I'd say we go in that direction.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Why?
Well, at the
You
very
have to pick
least,
one.
and there might be civilization over in that direction.
Sure.
Or what remains of one.
Exactly.
All right, so you're going to cut from this distance away. It looks like the city's probably maybe 10 or 12 miles away.
Guess we better get walking.
Yeah.
Okay, so you begin walking off through the woods. You don't necessarily need to cut away through vegetation. Vegetation. You don't have to cut your way through vegetarian, so guys, it's fine. Yeah, you don't have to cut your way through vegetation. But the sort of like limbs of the trees are sort of like almost causing natural barriers to you, especially because they're quite hardened with this sort of like shell. And sort of as you're walking past the trees, Chinook and Gideon and Morna, you all notice that the bark itself, or the sort of whatever it is that's lining the trees, it's not like a petrification where it's like stone. It almost seems to be like almost like lobster chitin of some sort, but like black, that is like perfectly formed itself onto the trees.
I'm gonna have a closer look.
Yeah, go ahead. Make an investigation check.
I'm also gonna pick up a stick and poke it.
Yeah, sure.
Investigation, you said. Sure. Investigation.
So poking it on the tree, it's quite thick actually, and it's quite protective, but it is brittle. And you do manage to pry a bit off. And underneath where that is, you do see sort of like grey, almost dead bark that almost looks like it's made of ash that hasn't quite been ruffled yet. And you sort of like instinctively stick your finger in and sort of move it around. And yeah, you realise that the sort of this chitin exterior to all the trees seems to be holding an interior just of ash. There's like perfectly like filled the space in between.
Oh, well, this place is so fun and full of life and joy and... I fucking hate it.
Yeah, it's not nice.
I thought you would have loved it, personally.
Yeah,
It's
I
all
know.
about death and brooding and darkness and being... Yeah.
I thought I'd like it as well, but here we are.
Oh, I mean, surely if you worship death, then in a world without life, there's nothing to die.
While you're taking this conversation, Gideon's got a little glass vial and he puts a little of the bark in it.
What you doing there, brother?
Oh, look at it. Not every day you see something like this.
It's
What's
ash, buddy.
Yeah, but it's not from here. From where we're from.
It's new ash.
Brand, there's quite a large market for brand new ash from other planes.
Yeah, but what is ash? Right? Ash is the burnt remains of. It could be it could be anything, right?
It looks like a tree.
Yeah, it definitely looks like a
Maybe.
tree.
I agree, but have you ever had a tree ash from the Shadowfell?
I mean, there's a lot of things that I haven't had. That
And there's a
doesn't
lot of
give them
things I
value.
don't think. Yeah, like I've never picked up a vial of dragon shit, and I don't imagine many people would want to buy that off of me.
I don't know. I
disagree,
feel like
actually.
Excited of you.
I feel like that'd be some good fertilizer, right?
I don't think you're getting my point.
I have actually heard that if you have a red dragon's poo and use that as fertilizer on chili peppers, that they become extra hot.
I don't think you're getting my point, my friends.
I got your point in the first. I'm just messing with you. I just want to have a look at it.
Also heard that if you use a blue dragon's on cocoa beans, then it's like chocolate. The chocolate that you create from those cocoa beans is like got like popping candy in it.
Scrimshaw's been spending his downtime well.
Just experimenting with different types of dragon shit.
Do you have any of this chocolate?
Oh no, this is just these. I mean, these are just things that I heard from Rokon.
Oh, right.
He seems quite knowledgeable about dragon poo somehow. Not quite sure how,
Yeah.
but
He likes his poo.
All right, so you're continuing through the forest.
Yeah.
It's quite hard to track the flow of time in this area. You sort of have a feeling that you've been walking for maybe 4 or 5 hours. But you notice that the sunlight is starting to dim, and where the purple sky is being replaced with like a very red, sort of pinkish sky as sort of night begins to set in, and it casts this sort of like almost pinkish, almost bloody glow over the area around you, and you begin to notice that sort of it begins snowing. But as the snow flakes fall on the ground, you look down and you realize it's even more ash. It's not snowflakes at all.
is there a volcano around here, or is this just the weather?
I mean, are there any big mountains around?
There doesn't seem to be. The wind is very silent. Like you don't feel the wind at all, even though there's clouds storming overhead. It's like a very dead, still air. So it's not like necessarily that there's a big gust of wind carrying things across. It just seems to be like very purposefully, sort of like quite spookily ashing from the sky at this point.
I guess we just keep on going.
Yeah.
Well, it's getting late now, so you can either continue going through the night and get to the city, and it will still be nighttime, or you can stop here for the for a rest and then get back to it tomorrow. Down to you.
We can stop.
Yeah.
We should
But
probably.
it'd be nice to have an opportunity to chat more.
Of course. So maybe we should rest here.
All right, so you begin to set up camp. Again, it just the sort of the silence is quite eerie, and it almost is quite intense in that you can easily find yourself drifting off into thought, and you can see how some people might go mad in this sort of silence.
Never been so bad to have tinnitus.
Yeah, there's all those rock concerts, Grimshaw. All right, so you begin to settle down. Are you going to take watches?
I think
Yeah.
probably should, yeah.
Yeah. Let's just...
Okay. So who's going to take the first watch? Of the two of you.
I'll go first.
I'll go as well.
Okay. So everyone begins to settle down. Is there anything that anyone wants to do before people fall asleep, like during meal times or anything?
I want to chat with Gideon.
Yeah, same.
You could do that on your watch.
I want to try to keep...
Oh.
Well, you'll be sat around the campfire for a little bit.
Hmm.
So you can talk.
He's just whistling through his spellbook at the moment.
So come on, Gideon. Spill the beans. What have you been up to? Tell us a story. Give us a story.
Right now?
Yeah, why not?
Geez, I was hoping we could maybe just, keep it casual, fun, light.
Let's catch him. This is fun. That's a story.
That's what he's done.
Oh, yeah, I suppose. You haven't been doing the old, again, have you?
The old what again?
The old, slaving.
Oh my god. I'm pretty sure I cleared this up quite a few years ago.
Did you? I can't remember. As long as you haven't been doing that, then
I
it's fine.
never did slaving, Roxanne, just for the record.
Oh. What were you doing? And it doesn't matter. Yeah, go. You must have some stories you can tell that are fun or lighthearted.
Jeez, I mean, if any... It's a big old dust ball, Ishmael. I've seen Rainleaf a few times.
How is Rainleaf?
I mean, granted, I wasn't particularly talking to her much, but she's doing all right. She's keeping to herself. But
Well, it's good to have you back.
well, it's nice to be here. The whole reason I left was I felt that I wasn't able to protect you guys well enough. After some
Well-
soul searching, I guess it kind of felt like I ran away from the fact that I wasn't able to process what happened to Fondle and Sokka. And I needed to find myself a bit,
Let's see.
And
Well,
what did you find?
What did I find? Well, I learned from some of the best masters of magic the world's ever seen. Made some friends, learned some new things. You should go at some point. Ashmon's lovely.
Did you further your existing specialization, or?
Abjuration, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, sure. And he kind of points to this kind of almost like thin veil, I suppose, of kind of energy that kind of cascades around him. He says, this old thing, you might recognize it, but it's a bit more complex now. It's pretty good at stopping any type of magic that comes its way. It's kind of a bubble.
That's good to know. Probably going to need it.
Oh yeah. And you notice when Gideon eats and kind of does things around the campfire, he's kind of keeping it very to himself. His arms are, you don't really see them much, but they're kind of, under the shawl, and he's quite.
Are his hands on show?
Yeah, you can see his hands.
Is he
Just
still wearing the ring from there on Shanda's tower?
You can do a perception check if you want.
Um, should I perception check, Mike?
Yeah, go ahead.
Natural one.
Why are your eyes shut?
I'm
shit.
working really hard.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I guess it's quite easy to see in the firelight, but you don't notice anything particularly on his hands.
No, Scrimshaw was just staring at Gideon's hands intensely.
Yeah, you're right there, Scrimshaw. I'm getting it.
Yeah. So,
He kind of like retracts his underneath the shoulder bit. You all right there, friend?
yeah, sure, yeah.
Can you just ask?
I was just curious if you still use that ring.
Oh,
If it served you well.
Which ring? Sorry, it's been a long time.
The one from Aeron's tower.
Aaron Shander's Towers ring. Yeah, I think I just, time it just must have dropped it somewhere, lost it. When I joined the school, there was all sorts of tests where, you couldn't wear rings, etc.
You lost it?
Well, misplaced is maybe a better word for it. Look, I have a lot of stuff.
Yeah, maybe
It's
in your bag.
it's very casual. That was a very that was a very powerful ring.
I mean, I have other powerful things.
Yeah, but it also wasn't yours. It's
Yeah.
Aaron Shander's.
Oh no, we piss off Aaron Shander of all people.
I mean that's not really the concern.
And what about Vondel's sword? I'm assuming you still have that, right? Is that yours?
Yeah, Vundel died and doesn't have any
Still have
family.
That's not actually true.
Yeah, it is. That was his whole thing.
He had. Do you not remember who gave him the sword in the first place?
Yeah, his family who got killed by.
It was a friend of his.
Yeah, it was a guy called Berman. You guys have like a memory of Sith.
I wasn't there, but I think Gideon might be right.
Now, Vundel wanted us to have the sword.
Yeah, of course he wanted you to have the sword.
Didn't he tell you to bring the sword to his family when he died?
No.
That does sound like something this guy would probably.
We were not there when he died.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he had no family, but he had a friend. Had a friend or two. Right.
And Berman was his relative.
Oh, was it?
Oh god.
Oh shit.
I thought the whole thing with Vondel was that oh god, what was his name? The
Eric's.
Eric's killed his family.
Yeah, he did, but that doesn't mean he doesn't have any family left. Do you know how big dwarf families are?
You've been holding this family heirloom hostage this entire time.
Nah, he would have wanted us to have it.
Look, I haven't gone this whole campaign.
Oh,
I haven't gone this whole
Give the
campaign
sword back,
using.
Scrimshaw.
I have not gone this whole campaign keeping with this weapon using an achievement slot when it wouldn't normally do so, just to return it before I can actually make use of it as a magic weapon.
Yes, exactly.
Hey, what happened to Gothric?
Oh, he's
He's the king of the
warg?
orcs now.
Oh no, I sorry, I should have rephrased that. I have seen him since. Briefly.
You have? This is the first I, Zach the player, know about this.
Yep. So what happened was Zach the player. Just I had a bit of difficulty getting into the School of Magic and needed some references, and King of the.
You asked Gothric.
I also asked Wolfram.
Oh, that's fair enough.
They weren't letting me in because the Red Wizards. Do you remember them? We pissed them off a bit. Anyway, they said I wasn't,
Hey,
the reputable type to be studying.
I'm not
this one.
offended, but you could have asked me for.
Wait, you went to a school with the Red Wizards?
Well, not with the Red Wizards. That not my style, but I mean, Red Wizards operate in there, right? Nishman. They have influence.
So why did you go to Gothric of all people?
Because he's my friend.
But he's not. From what I understand, he's not really a wizard.
Yeah, but he has a good reputation, right? I'm sure the wizards of Ashmullen don't want to alienate somebody they can have as, they can send wizards over, right?
Flashback to the conquest.
Well, it clearly worked. It was very bold, so.
Yeah.
Well, maybe. Yeah. Well, I mean, you got in.
Maybe-
So that's all that matters.
Maybe they took
I
it
just
as a
want
threat.
to imagine like Gothric wrote like a letter of reference that he doesn't really know what wizards would be looking for in a reference.
Yes,
Gothric
he's
even
very
admittedly
short.
right.
He's very short, and his clothes are very red.
He dresses
He
like a
got
wizard.
really-
Let him in.
He got really angry at me one time. Sad face.
He can make big fireball.
He can make big fireball is probably like the overall gist of what Gothric said.
All right, should we take a break here then?
Okay,
Sure.
All right, sure.
All right, come back in 15 minutes.
I'm gonna make a sandwich.
Gonna grab a
Alright.
drink.
See you in a bit.
Sandwich.
See you in a little bit, Russian spammers.
Hello.
Hello, welcome back. So, just before the break, the party were rejoined Astawalt, and were sort of dressed down by Erin, who gave a bit of a dumbed down lecture on what she has been doing recently and her ideas, saying that she needs you to go to what she calls the Shadowfell to collect things of importance that she may be able to study from this region. You began to trek through the woods, this sort of like strange petrified woods that almost seems to have. It's hard to tell whether the coating over the trees itself seems to be of organic or sort of inorganic design. But it seems to have like spotches on it. It seems to be mostly black, but sort of almost is a bit. It reflects the light a little bit. It almost seems wet from afar, but upon touching it, it seems to be like more like a varnish. But when you peeled off a bit of the bark before, you notice that inside the center of the trees, all the biological matter has all turned to dust, all turned to ash, and is being held together within this chitin sort of shell on the trees. But as you sort of inspect the ground around you, you notice that everything's like this. All the leaves are on the ground, all the blades of grass. Even sort of really inspecting it, you see like tiny alien insects, which have also been caught up in this. It reminds you strangely of what happened with Carnea. Although this is a much darker and it seems to be a much more unnatural method of this sort of horror.
Can we grab some of those insects? Just like take a sample of those.
Yeah. You've got things that I'm sure you can take samples of.
Cool. It's like an empty health potion vial or something.
Yeah. All right. So who's taking watches?
Rox and I were gonna do one.
All right. So you two, decide amongst yourselves whether you want to do both individual checks or one with advantage.
I'll do it.
With advantage?
Yeah.
Okay. So all right, then Mona. Right, good thing you
Thanks,
did.
Yeah.
All right. Is there anything you wanted to talk about during your watch?
So, what have you been up to?
Mostly rebuilding the Grace of the Crow.
Oh, and how did that go?
Well, I was with Aidmere the whole time, so it was really nice.
All right. So did you manage to, bring the order back to its former glory?
Yeah, I think so. We're on the way to anyway.
Nice. We'll
I got a new.
I was just gonna say we'll probably need them when this planet arrives.
Yeah. Yeah. So about the planet, it's pretty big, isn't it?
Pretty big, I have to say, bigger than me. And that's
I don't think
saying
it's
so.
much bigger than you, right?
No, I'll just push the planet away.
I don't really know how big planets are. They look pretty small in the sky.
I think they're pretty big. I mean, we're on a planet, right? So
Yeah, but this is the main planet.
yeah, I guess. Well, time will tell. Time will tell. But yeah, I spend my time off rebuilding my fort.
You have a fort?
Yes, I have a fort.
I
I'm a knight. I own land.
Yeah, but you own. I thought it was Astawalt.
No.
Oh.
I have my own fort.
Does it have a teleportation circle?
No, not yet. But if we visit, maybe we should set one up. You know?
Yeah,
Um,
it's quite expensive.
Yeah, but it could be useful. It's near Rexony. It's at a good spot.
Well,
So-
there's a teleportation circle in Rexony, right? So do you have to like public
Oh.
transport it? You have to go to Rexony and then walk.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you do. But
Uh,
it's worth. It's not that far out, and it's not a nice little spot, easy to defend.
So what did you do to your fort?
Just spruced it up a bit. you know, I kind of completely neglected it while we were out adventuring, so everything had kind of gone a bit to shit. But now it's nice and spruced up. It's got new carpets, new curtains. It's fabulous. New furniture and everything. I highly
Ooh.
recommend everybody comes around. We'll
Yeah.
have a feast.
Well, once you get a teleportation circle, we'll all come around.
Well, it doesn't take long to get there from Mexanu.
Yeah, but you have to walk.
Yeah, but we're walking now.
Yeah, we just spend so much time walking. Maybe I'll get a horse or something.
Yeah, maybe old Clive can help.
Yeah.
Or probably not, because it sounds like Clive is dying.
Yeah, everyone here also walks really slowly.
So, what do you think of Gideon returning?
Uh,
Or is he acting a bit odd?
I think maybe he's just older.
Yeah, I think he's
He
trying-
is acting weird though. But I think he's just older.
Yeah, he's not the child that we knew.
No.
More mature now. I think there's a bit of friction between him and Chinook.
It's because they
Chinook-
both want to be the best spellcasters.
Yeah. Well, we'll find out who truly is the best spellcaster when we find some trouble.
Yeah, that's true.
That whole thing that they were saying about people's old wounds opening up, you don't think that applies to us as well, right? When that
I
planet
don't know.
explodes.
I have died once.
Yeah, you killed me, so
Oh yeah.
I've died too. So, and you stabbed me, right?
Yeah.
Oh
Right
god.
in the neck.
Oh god. Well, it's not as bad as Gothric. He's quite literally going to explode.
Yeah.
I hope like older wounds don't come up. I've been burned a lot. I've been burned, stabbed, bitten. That's gonna suck. That's gonna really suck.
Yeah, I mean I was only suffocated, so
Yeah. Why did you stab me? Why couldn't you have just done that?
I just thought it'd be more fun.
Oh. Fair enough. If I had to kill you, I'd definitely chop you in half.
Yeah. See, exactly.
Yeah. That's how I'd do it. If I had to
Ooh,
kill you, I'd
Which
chop.
way though?
Oh, definitely head to bottom. Cleave you
Ooh.
straight in twain.
You'd have to do a couple of
No.
well, I'd have to be standing up, wouldn't I?
Yeah. Standing up. I could definitely do it in one.
It's a shame we don't have Gira around. We could have tried that.
I mean, Chinook's here. He can revive people, right? Although, can he revive you if I cleave you in twain? I'd assume so.
We could
Probably-
ask. Maybe
probably bet-
when we swap round for our
Yeah.
watchers.
When he wakes up, we'll ask him, if I were to kill you, like by taking you in twain, will he be able to bring you back?
Maybe not
Is
right
it-
now
It
because
could be a
the
fun
whole
experiment.
yeah. Do we have any diamonds?
I assume we bought some. I personally don't have them, but you know, hopefully the person that uses them brought them. But but I guess we'll find out if somebody dies. It's gonna be really awkward if that person that dies is Chinook. 'Cause,
Yeah.
we're gonna have to drag his body all the way back. I don't
Yeah.
want to do that. Well, I guess we'll find out.
Right, so during your watch, Mona, you're looking out with your beady eyes. It's silent. You feel like you could probably hear a sound, whether it was like, if it was over 100 meters away, you'd be able to hear it through the trees. And there is this just sheer sense of like, if you closed your eyes, you could feel like you're in some sort of chamber, like some sort of like sensory deprivation tank.
Okay.
However, you occasionally hear the noises of your friends tossing and turning in their sleep, and snoring and the like. But your watch goes on fine. There's nothing particularly here to scare you or was out of order or in any way.
Cool.
All right, who's
Go
next?
wake up Shunnock.
I'll take one with Gideon.
All right, so you're both woken up.
And we want to ask you first, do you have any diamonds?
Because I want to try killing Morna by chopping her in half. I just want to know if you could bring her back.
No,
You didn't bring any?
I didn't. You can't bring Morna back from that.
Can't you?
No, the body needs to be whole.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
I won't
Maybe
try it
another
then.
time. We'll have to find someone else. Alright, well, have a fun watch. I'm gonna get some sleep now.
All right.
Right.
Yeah, and the two of them just almost immediately pass out. So you find yourselves, Gideon and Chinook, awkwardly sort of finding each other, looking for space to communicate with each other, I suppose. Do you want to do watches between you, or one with advantage?
I can do one.
Yeah, go ahead. Okay. Is there anything you want to talk about?
So, you were here before me.
It certainly seems that way. He kind of looks up from his spellbook, kind of scribbling some things down.
What was the weirdest thing you've done?
Is this supposed to be some kind of icebreaker question or something?
Yeah, I'm not sure how to crack you, so to speak.
Kind of slams the book. I say slams. Closes the book.
Fuck you!
Closes the spine of the book. Puts it to one side. Strangest thing I've done. Well, probably meet these guys. But I mean, I don't know, a lot of things. There was that one time. I guess I can't say that anymore. I was going to say we went to a different plane of something or another, but we're here again. Sorry, I feel this is a really terrible answer to your question.
That's fine. It's fine. What's your deal?
Wow, there's so much for pleasantries, eh?
You're hiding something, Gideon.
Why would you think that?
I know when people are hiding things. I've gotten very good at noticing. I tend to hide a lot of things myself. I know the mark of those who hide things. I'm not sure what it is, but there's something there.
Like you said, you try and hide things. Even if I am, what's it to you?
I care about these people, and I want to believe that you do as well. That said, those who have cared about people turn around and sometimes no longer care about those people.
Are you honestly trying to say that I am not loyal to these guys? I've been through a hell of a lot with these guys.
What I'm saying is, I don't know you. I don't know what you've been through. And I certainly don't know what you've done since leaving. But I do know that you're not being completely forthright with us. Whether that's something good or something bad is for the future to decide.
I can tell you're going to be a lot of fun, Shinnock. I can see exactly why they chose you.
In a sense, I chose them.
Why is that?
They had an elder box.
I hope you understand these guys really don't have a good track record with them.
No, but I was sent to investigate them.
Oh. How cool. Wait, actually, he might not have said cool before, so I'll ignore that. Actually, no, he did. Did he say that? I think he did in Esther What.
I don't think I've mentioned like the full story with Hakul. Just
No,
that I want to
no.
fuck with Hakul.
Yeah. I guess that doesn't mean anything then. Who sent you then?
That would be my former leader, Hakul. I say former, I don't know if I'm welcome there anymore.
So, Google sent you to spy on these guys, and now you want to kill him?
I always wanted to kill him. Hakul sent me to spy on them, and once I've learned what they've done, I realized that they were my best option to get rid of the bastard.
Oh, how poetic. So you're after the group to help you defeat Hakul?
Yeah.
But why? I mean, defeating a being an archfey like Hakul would cause all sorts of, I was about to say chaos, but already pretty chaotic there.
Hakul wants to leave.
To leave?
He wants to leave the Feywild. He's currently trapped there. I don't know what you know about the bastard, but he tends to sow those most loyal. He manages to find a way to sew their mouths shut, so that they can't make a noise.
You know, I met one of those types. What was her name? Shy. Well, she had her mouth stitched. I had no idea if she was really how cool, but Shy.
Yes. Shai was certainly loyal to him, in a sense.
Ah, you've met her. Well, not
I've
surprised.
known her, in a sense, longer than the rest of you have.
Oh.
I should say, I had known her. I don't know if she's still alive.
Well, I'm sorry for your loss, I think. Okay, well, this is your thing then, right? You're gonna go and end a ghoul and dance into the sunshine with your fellow fey creatures.
Yeah. I want to get rid of him, and find someone to take his place. Someone more worthy.
Oh, well, best of luck with that, pal. He starts kind of opening his book again a little bit.
Okay. So once more, your watch goes off uninterrupted. There is a strange sort of unease to the air, I suppose, as you look out over the horizon, and the last of the pink light dipping below the horizon, and all that's left is a sort of campfire that you've made. The sticks from their local trees, they seem to burn fine, despite them being filled with ash. And they do sort of release a lot more ash than you'd expect, but they seem to give off enough heat, give a bit of crackling to and a bit of light to the surroundings around you. But you get to the point where you can wake up the next two people.
Except
Which
there's
is
only
just
one left.
Scrimshaw. Okay. Well, is there anything you'd like to do, Scrimshaw?
No, not my own.
All right, for the
Probably
sake of
just-
expediency, we'll move on. So, so you wake up the next day. Scrimshaw gets you all awake and begins to pack up the tents that you have set up for yourselves. So, what's the plan for today?
Yeah, I just had a thought. Maybe we should have noted down some of the those runes or markings or language or whatever it was on those in that stone circle.
Maybe on our way out we can note those down.
Do we need
I'm
to?
not in the mood to go back there right now, and then come all the way back, sleep here again.
Do we need to return there before going home?
I mean, I don't really know how travel from this place works exactly. So I would recommend going back there to travel back.
Oh, you're the expert.
Oh, let's see if you remember where it is. So you continue on, packing up your things and continuing to slog your way through the overgrowth. After a couple of hours of traveling, you find yourself sort of beginning to come onto what seems to be a main path of some sort. It's quite well made. It's a strange sort of like substance that this road is made out of. It's not made of paving stones as you're used to. It seems to be made of this sort of almost sort of black substance that has been filled into the ground itself. It's sort of almost springy to walk on.
Lovely.
And as you continue to walk down the path, in the distance, as the trees begin to sort of lessen out, you do see the silhouette of the city against the horizon, against the sort of dark purple sky. As a few lightning bolts crash over top, and you see all the lightning in the clouds, all like connecting into a sort of almost arcane ley line structure around the city itself. But just ahead of you on the road there's this sort of like strange hut that's just sort of propped up against the road, against one of the trees. It seems to be made of some sort of thin metal of some sort. It doesn't seem to be made of bricks or anything.
Kind of like corrugated steel type thing.
Yeah, along those lines.
Check it out.
But yeah, I mean the house itself doesn't seem particularly big. It's maybe like only 10 by 10 or something feet. But the door sort of is like half open anyway, and you sort of open it up and it creaks with a quite strange rust almost sound. As you sort of like pry the door open, like the sort of rust on the hinges means that like it sort of almost falls off the hinges itself. It seems to have like almost been preserved in a state of unmovingness. But the second you actually touch it, it started to sort of collapse and crumble. You see inside is a sort of maybe tool bench of some sort, and some sort of like workman's gear of some attire. It seems to be like multiple different tools. Some you can't quite work out what they could be for. You know, some of them seem to be like made of wires, and some of them seem to be made of like prongy sort of forks and stuff. But it seems to be of some sort of like person was making stuff here at some point.
Can we do another kind of investigation check in the...
Yeah, go ahead. What's the rest of you doing?
I'm pretty like looking around in here to try and see what was being made.
Yeah,
for some kind of finished product.
Morna and Roxanne, are you going to just take up a bit of a proximity around the hut?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, give me perception checks, with you. Nice, cool. All right, Gideon, as you begin having a look around this hut, you notice on the workman's desk itself, there seems to be some sort of old technology, sort of half constructed on there. And sort of looking in the center of this strange bit of technology, seems to be encrusted into some sort of like leather pouch of some sort. In the center, there seems to be like this black crystal, sort of just placed in the center, connected to whatever it was before.
Does it remind Gideon of the kind of stone sphere that he touched back in Oristas many moons ago?
It does have a similar sort of vibe, yes.
Okay, Gideon does not touch it. He says, "Guys, check this out."
Hmm.
Chunuk's going to check it out.
Is that?
Okay.
Is that like what was in that chest?
I think so. Makes sense, I guess. Where that stuff came from.
I kind of
Chunuk's
cast
gonna sniff it.
Mage Hand to kind of pick it up with try and pick up the
Yeah.
thing with that.
It doesn't
and
smell of anything.
Rotate it around.
You rotate it around. Yeah, give me an Arcana check, I'm sure, or religion. It's your choice.
They are the same. 21.
So, inspecting it, you know, it looks very similar to like a very out of date Tulstone. One that all the sort of powerful energy has long been drained from.
Okay.
Other than that, the technology that is sort of is in between, you have no idea what this could possibly like do. It doesn't even seem to be working in any sense. It seems to be half constructed. There's no manual nearby.
Is there any papers in the room?
You sort of have the sense that whatever sort of paper stuff probably rotted long ago, or has blown away or something. There doesn't seem to be any paper around the room.
So, you still using Mage Hand? Can I try and remove the gem from the device?
Yeah, of course, no problem.
Okay. Remove that. Set it aside.
Yeah, all right. It plonks out, and you notice that the Tulstone like is a lot softer than they normally are. They're usually very hard. They're almost sort of the same hardness as diamonds. But this one seems to be more like coal in some way, maybe. Like it seems to be that sort of brittle.
I'd like to take out one of the Tulstone from my bag and try and like socket that in where it was.
Yeah. It takes a bit of like cutting away because obviously the Tulstone isn't perfectly fit.
Yeah.
But give me a dexterity check, or like some something dexterity.
Okay. That's I'm going to cast guidance on myself.
Okay.
For doing this.
Ooh.
I did that as a save by accident, but it's the same as just a check. So
20. Cool.
23.
23. Awesome. So yeah, you begin to play around with it. You take the working Tulstone out of your bag and you place it into the machine. And the second you slot it in, it like the Tulstone glows green slightly, almost as if it's powering up. And then there's this sort of like blue arcane sort of like screen that sort of like levitates above the machine itself, almost being like projected by the Tulstone. The machine itself, it seems to be some sort of like loading screen of some sort. It just says, "Please wait." ... Please wait ...
I'll wait, I guess.
What is this type of technology?
I'm not sure, but it's telling us to wait.
Well, you assume it says wait. I mean, it sort of says something in some sort of pictographic language, and then ... and then it's sort of repeating it.
I don't understand how this thing works.
Is there audio description on this?
What?
Oh, sorry, I don't know what I'm saying.
Suddenly, the machine sort of like vibrates slightly, and the screen itself like projects itself right into the center of the room, and this sort of like holographic projection coming from the device sort of reveals this creature that is being projected by this machine. Speaking something in some language, but Morning, you recognize it.
Yeah.
As saying, testing. Does this thing work?
Hello?
Oh,
Hello.
the creature that you saw. It looks very similar to one of the creatures you saw in the Elder Brain's ship.
Yeah.
So it's the one that is made that is sort of humanoid, but its entire skin is sort of black. And it's just got two. But obviously, the projection itself is sort of like fuzzy, and it's almost like it looks glowing in the sort of area around you. But it says, "Oh, this is weird."
Yeah, it is weird.
Gideon kind of whispers to Sherlock, how is this working?
Magic?
I think I've never seen.
He says, "Who are you?" Like pointing at you, Warner. And why could you understand me?
I'm Warner.
And where are we?
We're in the Shadowfell.
What? The Shadowfell?
Yeah. Spooky, isn't it?
Wait, what year is this?
I turn around. What year is this?
Well, it's a different planet, so I imagine it has a different year.
So we're not from here, so I imagine that this has a different year.
Wait, I can't see anything. Hang on. Let me just turn on the sensors. You see like a little almost like eye socket open up on the machine, and like this sort of like clockwork eye sort of pops out and begins looking around at you. Is that's better. So, and the rest of you hear like a speaking some more.
What is that? Is that the machine? Is that like a thing from somewhere else? Is this what's going on? Mona, what's going on?
It's not really saying a whole lot. Who are you?
I am Epic.
He's Epic, or they're Epic.
Epic, could you possibly write down your name, perhaps? There we go.
I mean, that's probably the closest you could in common language.
Yeah.
Epic says to you, Mona. Wait, so it worked? It must have.
Yeah, I guess it has. Who are you? Are you the machine?
Well, when everyone hears about this, this planet will be saved. I'm glad.
Well, we just replaced your Tarlstone.
Did you? Wait, what was wrong with it?
It was all gross and old
Old?
and black.
Old? I just replaced it just yesterday.
How did you replace it? You're a machine.
I wasn't always a machine.
Oh, I don't think it was yesterday. What do you mean you weren't always a machine?
Well, I once was this, and he sort of like points to himself in the projection.
And
Sorry,
Well-
what does he look like again?
He's sort of like a humanoid, sort of mortal-looking creature, but his skin has almost like no features other than like two very pointy black eyes on his front. He doesn't seem to be wearing any clothes of any sort. Like all his skin just seems to be very smooth and amorphous. But his skin is
just a blob with eyes.
pretty much. I mean, his skin is sort of almost like snake sort of leather.
I don't like it.
But because of the projection, he's sort of glowing. Yes, I'm a cranium.
You're just a cranium.
Cranian. That's my people.
Oh.
We're from Crane. You must have seen the city down the road.
Nope. We haven't.
We have seen the city.
Say,
Yeah, but we haven't been there, have we?
are we hearing what's being relayed, by the way?
Mono, are you translating?
They, no, not at the moment.
Alright. Just one of them.
So, and you want it to become part of a machine?
It's the only way to save our people.
Why? What's happening with the people?
The planet is coming.
That's what we're here to help with.
Oh, well, wonderful. Great. Our people will be glad to hear it. If you could only take me there. I can't seem to move myself. I didn't quite finish that part.
Fine. I turn to the group. He wants us to move him take us into Crane, the nearest city.
Why?
Is he aware of what's happened?
What's happened?
Nishana just kind of just gestures wildly at the planet.
Oh, I just assumed it was always like this.
Why didn't you ask him? What did...
All right. So, just so you know, the whole planet is sort of under a layer of ash and everything's really dead. Is that how it always was?
No, that doesn't sound right.
Let's move you outside so you can have a look. I say it to the group. We need to move him outside so he can have a look.
Crane has always been a jungle continent.
Oh, yeah, I don't think it is anymore.
What do you mean?
Come on, let's go outside.
Can you use Bigby's hand maybe to kind of carry it for a little bit?
Yeah.
Or we can use the carpet, but that's...
I mean, Scrimshaw's got Mage Hand out.
Oh, okay. Okay, is that big enough?
Yeah, that can lift it.
Okay. Cool.
All right, so you take it outside, and the sort of little eye stalk that's on the that has poked itself out from the contraption is like frantically looking around, going like, you hear the sort of from the speaker compartment, blub, 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 which Morning you hear as, no, this isn't right.
What should it look like? And I'll try and imagine it.
No, it's not about what it should look like, it's what it does look like. What happened? How long have I been out?
We don't know. We've only just got here.
I demand you take me to the High Palace immediately. The rulers will have an answer for this.
Okay.
This isn't right.
Erin told us to bring important things, right? Maybe that tile stone could be important.
To be honest, I think we should just take
Right.
this epic creature back with us.
I mean, yeah, bringing this back would definitely be useful.
Surely we should take him to the city first.
Well,
Why?
he doesn't
Oh yeah, but
really have a choice.
when we're done.
It's a
Or we
bomb.
could take him back.
We should take him to the city. He deserves at least to know what happened to his planet.
Oh, we'll tell him on the way back.
I mean, presumably there's more than this to see here as well.
All right, let's go.
Should we take the dead Tilestone? I'm a little concerned to touch it.
Chinook's just gonna grab it and put it into his bag.
You're going to put the machine in your bag.
Oh, the dead tile stone.
Oh, the dead tile stone. Yeah, sure, that's fine. Yeah, no, you touch it and it's kind of really cold to the touch, but it doesn't harm you.
Yeah, it's fine. And I just kind of just chuck it in the bag.
Okay. When Gideon touched one of those before he died, so I was a bit concerned.
I ain't going anywhere near any like that again.
Probably should have told you that before you picked it up, but never mind. Yeah, ended fine. All right. So, did you say he wanted to see? He wants to see the city, or
What happened to the great Kenja's tree? And you see the eye point over towards like a very large stump of this petrified chitin, like much larger than the other trees around.
Looks like it died, mate.
No, this can't be right. It gave sustenance to the whole forest.
Well, it's not alive anymore.
Chinook, how do you know what he's saying? They're saying.
Oh
something.
yeah, sorry.
I guess.
I keep thinking I can hit right. Sorry.
They sound upset. What's he saying?
Oh, there was a tree over there that used to provide sustenance to the whole city. No, whole forest, and it's dead. And he's very upset about it.
Oh, can you let them know we're sorry for their loss?
We're sorry for your loss.
It's not just my loss. It's everyone's. It's your loss as well.
What's he?
Right, let's go.
I get the sense this is what we have in store if we fail on, the big round thing.
yeah. Well,
I don't
let's
like
not
it one
fail.
bit.
yeah. I mean, if we can find details of what's happened here, then maybe we can prevent it.
I'm sure the elders will know exactly what's going on, and they'll have a plan to deal with it, as they always have. The elders have never let us down before, and just because I was off for a bit doesn't mean that there's not a reasonable answer for this.
Can I at least tell he's nervous from his tone of voice?
Yeah, you hear after a moment you hear a system update, and then you hear him go, "Oh, I can speak your language now."
Oh.
Oh,
We're sorry about the tree.
How did you do that?
Oh, my scanners they pick up a lot, and they learn quickly.
Yeah, sorry, you skipped a bunch of scanner. What is a scanner?
It's like a telescope that you put light through and scan things with.
just so I'm aware, how long do you believe one of these Tilestones will actually sustain you for? How efficient is your mechanism?
As far as I can tell, about 100 years, 200 years.
Oh, okay, so there's no hurry then. But yeah, the one that was in here before, that's dead, drained. Chinook has it if you want to see it.
It
But,
must be defective in some way. There's no answer.
Well, I'm sorry, but it seems as though the planet-born dead has been and gone, and looks to have taken all the life of this planet with it. Maybe that drained the Tilestone too.
But it was. They said it was years away. I thought I was in a breakthrough.
This machine that you're in, we replaced the Tilestone. It looks like it's been off for years. Not sure how long this planet's been this way.
How much do you guys use Tilestones exactly? Gideon's kind of like has a look on his face.
Well, the Great Tilestone Revolution was a good 300 years ago, I'd say.
So my assumption is, yeah, you guys use a hell of a lot of Tilestones.
Well, it powers everything in our society. It has caused, let's say it has caused the growth of our species from no more than nomadic hunter-gatherers all the way up to, spacefaring civilization.
Okay, there's a lot of things there that I don't quite understand, but I'm just... So,
You said you were spacefaring. What do your ships look like? Your
Very
space
I-
ships,
I've
if that's the word for them.
What do they look like?
Yes.
They look like spaceships, I suppose. I don't
What
know
is-
how to describe them.
like,
Tins of metal that
do they look
ride through the skies?
I'd like to kind of cast minor illusion, kind of trying to show the ships that we saw leaving the planet in
Yeah.
the vision. Is like this?
Yes, I suppose so. That looks familiar.
So do you think this would be from your planet?
Well, we happen to control a number of planets.
Oh. Right.
But yes, from one of them, I suppose.
Well, we had a little while ago, a few years ago at this point, we had visions of people fleeing a planet being, presumably drained of its energy by the planet born dead, and we saw these ships leaving it. I was wondering if that may have been this planet.
Well, I hope that. No. This is you're trying to mistake me somehow. I don't believe this.
Look, if it's any solace, then it may mean that the people of this planet aren't dead. They may have survived. They may have escaped to other planets. I mean, it's the planet itself. It sucks to lose, but if the people continue on, then
I see no evidence of that. I see no evidence of any of that.
Well,
the elders will explain everything.
Look around you.
I have been
could,
looking, and
what could survive this? Who could survive this?
the elders will have survived it.
I mean, by all means, we will take you. I mean, lead the way.
The elders were the protectors of our planet. They worked for 1,000 years to protect us from all sorts of threats. We all had total faith in that they were able to do it, and they are
Were they-
able to do it.
Were they your species?
Well, no. They were the I guess you could describe them as our gods.
What did they look like?
They like this, minor illusion and a mind flayer.
No, not the heathen. No,
What are these to you?
they're the forgotten ones. They're the heathens. They're the beings in the shadows, the ones that live in the dark sides of the galaxy. They're ones that seek to drain the universe of all life.
Okay, and what did the elders look like then?
The elders were our mystical overlords. They took whatever form they desired. They looked like us mostly.
Where did they come from?
There
go.
is a lot of speculation about their origins, but that was never anything that they bestowed upon us in terms of knowledge. They only promised to protect us, and in return we would live under their watch and their guidance. And they helped us. Well, they helped us become a spacefaring empire.
Was that by encouraging you to use tile stones?
Well, that is where we got the technology from. They gave it to us.
The tile stones attract the planet-born dead.
Yeah, you think so, Shunai? I was... in my head, I was wondering if there was some kind of causality there, but I have no evidence to support that.
That
It's
is a
what
theory we've had.
we- It's something I'm pretty sure we read about earlier on. At some point. Can't remember when exactly, but I'm pretty sure we saw that somewhere.
Yeah, I can confirm that.
And have you seen this kind of stuff before? I assume we're walking, by the way. I don't know.
Yeah, this you're
yeah,
sort
if
of traveling.
Yeah, I can have him lead us towards where the elders would be.
Seen
Yeah.
what before? Sorry.
Well, this kind of stuff. He kind of like points kind of forward at the tubes, maybe that like the box and the eye, and it's just like, this kind of stuff, like scanners and spaceships. I mean, I remember a few things from my early days, but it was all.
I mean, we fought the mind flayers before.
Yeah, I mean, well, I
Closest
fought the
to-
mind flayers. Did you guys fight them again?
Yeah, we
Oh.
destroyed the other brain.
Yeah. Yeah, we fought a colony of them.
Wow, that's mighty
Well-
impressive.
They were imprisoning many other different kinds of races.
Yeah, they wiped out the Grace of the Crow. Well, almost.
Oh, he kind of looks to Morna. I'm really sorry to hear that.
It's cool. We got a new one now.
I don't mean to be rude, but that doesn't sound cool at all. But I
Yeah,
admire
well-
your tenacity. So I feel like there's a lot of other things you guys need to tell me at some point. But
I think there's a lot of things you need to tell us, but that's beside the point.
well, let's just keep to the topic at hand, shall we?
Very well.
And what about that race? What did he call himself? He called himself like a crane or something?
Cranians?
Yeah, Cranians.
Have you ever met these before?
Did
we-
we see
we
one
saw-
of the...
We saw one on the Ark.
The Ark, assuming where you met the
This
Mind
was
Flayers.
yes, this was the Mind Flayer ship.
Fine. Sorry, I'm just trying to get
Yes,
everything in my head.
Epic. We saw one of your kind preserved on a Mind Flayer Ark.
I can only imagine what terrors they are planning to put him through. But I imagine quite a lot better than I used to because of my computing power.
He says a lot of strange words. Computing, well, whatever. But actually, and then he kind of whispers to Morna, "What happened to the fella in the Ark?"
I think he got blown up.
Oh. Well, might be best to keep that one quiet.
Yeah.
Ah, here we are. This is the main high street. The buildings do look rather derelict, I suppose, but that's fine. The Grand Palace is just down the road.
All
What
right.
does the place look?
So as you step sort of past the entrance gate, which is this sort of like strange twisted archway that has these sort of pictographical letters sort of printed on them. It goes down a sort of a main high street of sort of high-rise buildings that are made in a sort of a very blocky black stone sort of fashion. A lot of buildings are made purely, almost it seems, out of glass down this fairly modern-seeming high street. The remnants of sort of like long burnt-out cars just sort of litter the road, and evidence of looting before whatever happened. Sort of lines the street. In terms of the buildings themselves, obviously they look very foreign to you all, being from somewhere that has very traditional building sense, I suppose. But to get across to the players, maybe what it looks sort of more like a main downtown metropolis, sort of New York City-esque.
But royally fucked.
Yeah, just like shit is strewn all across the streets, and because the breeze doesn't seem to be very high at all, or there doesn't seem to be any noticeable breeze. A lot of stuff is just laid scattered all throughout the eons, almost seemingly not moving.
Right. This is lovely. Are you certain your elders would have survived all of this?
I know they would have found a way. The temple itself should be intact. The wellspring was there.
I think any source of life that exists on this planet will have been drained. I think
Well,
the
we'll see
elders,
about that.
the elders may still be alive, but I think if they are, they've probably fled.
He sort of continues to lead you down the road until you get to a sort of main sort of intersection between 4 large sort of roads. In one of the corners, sort of city block type areas, is a very large official sort of style building made of sort of blue and black stone. There seems to be like wires sort of hanging from it to poles on the streets and that sort of thing. And there's this sort of like large grand staircase leading up to the main entrance. Epic says, in here, and he sort of begins pointing towards the main entrance.
Head on in.
As you begin to go up the staircase, Epic sort of like says, "Elders, I am here to book an appointment." And as he begins to walk through the open door, he suddenly sort of stops, and the projection just sort of sulks almost, as it just is this completely empty sort of lobby of some sort. Any evidence of life is long gone. There doesn't seem to be any dead bodies anywhere, and any sort of like plant matter or anything like that seems to have like been encased in some way with this weird chitin stuff.
If it's any solace, the plants are still here. They're encased in whatever this is. If the people hadn't made it out, we probably would have seen them by now. They probably would have had a similar fate. To me, that seems to suggest that they got out.
But our home.
I know.
It is all we knew.
What you knew is each other. Your home was with each other. Wherever they are, that's their home now. This was just a place that you lived in.
The planet born dead is headed towards our home. If we don't stop it, this will happen to ours too. And we are not a spacefaring race. We do not have the means to evacuate.
What knowledge do you have on the planet?
Nothing compared to
Well,
yours.
It's somehow related to tile stones. It kills things. It's very big. It's coming towards us quite quickly. We have about a year. We don't really know a whole lot about it.
Well, in that case, I may be of service.
That would be
I
very
do
good.
have logs.
What
Are you-
pieces of wood have to do with this?
But you may have to complete me. as such. I can guide you.
Sure. What logs? Are there some trees we need to? Trees, books.
Oh, of course. You could call them. Let's say I have lots of letters inside me that only I can see, and that have a lot of information.
Right.
Is that okay enough for you?
Like memories?
Yes, like memories. Yes. But lots of them, much more than anyone else.
That's a lot of memories.
Yes, it's almost too much. I wish I could turn them off.
So how can we help in completing those?
Roxon, as everyone is sort of talking in the main lobby, you see it off to the side, in like a half-open doorway. There seems to be some sort of like sword lying on the ground.
Ooh.
No one has noticed it. Just you.
I will go and look at the sword.
You go into the sort of main thing, and it seems to be this like black obsidian saber of some sort, with this sort of like very long handle, and it seems to be maybe 8 foot long in total.
Huh. Hey guys, look what I found. And I just show him the sword.
Roxar,
Sorry.
I think we learned from the magical sword of racism that we don't just pick up swords we see.
Ah, well, I don't feel racist picking this up, so it's fine.
Hey, let me have a look at this. And he casts detect magic on it.
Yeah, it is magical, sure.
I just keep this. Little souvenir from our trip.
I guess anything
Sure.
of note we should probably bring back with us.
Maybe you can get one of our wizard friends to identify it. Someone who actually knows how to cast the identify spell.
That's me.
Ah, ladies.
So sexist.
All right,
Look.
Roxon, you pick it up, do you?
I do.
Okay, so you pick it up. You feel your hands sort of go around the hilt, and there's this sort of like biting chill. But very quickly, it seems to sort of acclimatize to your hand temperature, and it almost sort of feels like an extension of your hand as you sort of like look at it. It reflects the light in a very beautiful way. There's sort of these weird esoteric patterns which seem to sort of spiral from the actual blade itself when you sort of like reflect it out to the light. Yeah, as you sort of like feel it, you feel yourself drawing closer to it, and you sort of like, yeah, just have this sort of weird, sort of eerie sense come over you all of a sudden.
So it's giving me bad vibes.
what does bad vibes mean to you, Roxanne?
As you say that, you watch all the sort of light sources in the room begin to dim, and all the shadows seem to like immediately start pointing towards Roxon, and almost like the darkness is sort of bleeding towards Roxon and the sword. All throughout the room, wherever there's a shadow, it seems to be like edging closer and closer towards Roxon.
What did I tell you about picking up swords we just see?
Yeah, this might have been a mistake.
All the shadows begin edging closer and closer to you again. Epic says, I don't like the look of that. That looks rather threatening to me, actually.
Do you know what?
Roxanne?
Do you have any idea what this is?
You try and drop the sword, but it just doesn't leave your hand.
I can't put the sword down.
You're sort of like flapping your hand, and it's just sticking to it.
Help! Help! Pull it!
One of the shadows lashes out from as it edges towards you, and it sort of like almost turns into a tentacle, and like it almost like goes from shadow to 3-dimensional and begins to wrap itself around your leg. So can you make a strength saving throw for me, please, Roxanne?
Piss.
Okay, so it latches itself around your leg and just immediately starts pulling you to the ground. And so currently your right leg is bound up by one of these tendrils. What's everyone gonna do? What's everyone doing?
Gideon's casting Gira with sad
Can I-
face.
can I s-
Gideon's casting Dispel Magic on the sword.
On the sword.
if that's
All right,
okay.
give me a roll.
Yeah, hold on.
I'd like to
Right.
slash at the take Avenger and just slash at the tentacles.
Okay, make an attack. Mona, what are you doing?
I don't really know.
Natural 1.
Natural 1. Okay, yeah, you lash down at the tendrils, but they seem to just almost be in a sort of different plane almost. Like you slash through them and you just completely miss it.
I'm gonna put up my intelligence modifier on it.
Okay, so you lash out Dispel Magic at the sword, and the sword actually sort of like glows red for a moment as Roxon, you feel your hand like begin to burn, whereas it was a bit icy before. Now your hand is burning red hot as this magic has gone into it. So Roxon, you take 12 points of fire damage. Mona, what did you say you were going to do?
I don't know.
Gideon, don't do that. That burn.
I was trying to help.
Shinnok, what are you doing?
I am this. Oh God. I don't. I don't know. Shinnok's just gonna kind of just stare for a moment, and he's gonna vicious mockery the tentacle.
Okay, you notice that it sort of just doesn't afflict it. It doesn't seem to be anything that is sentient or like able to
Be
be
Uh,
mocked.
can you let go, Roxanne?
Yeah, Roxon, can you make another strength saving throw for me, please? If you rage, you can rage at this turn.
Oh, yeah. Can I rage?
Yeah.
Ah, it's making me angry. Ah, that's better. 20.
Okay, yeah. So this time you sort of like your muscles bulge, and you flex your quads, and the tentacles around your legs snap open, and it's sort of they dissipate into like darkness immediately. As you've still got the sword in your hand, which is still burning, even though it seems to be dimming more and more now. You notice all the shadows seem to be like coming mostly from within the center of the building, and you hear Epic saying, "Ah, I think it's time to run."
Yeah, let's run. Let's run.
Let's run.
Oh yeah,
Get us back.
we talked about this earlier, didn't we? Yeah, let's go.
All right, so we're going to do a sort of skill challenge, I think, for the next few minutes. So you begin all running out of the lobby, down the sort of marble steps. Right, what's everyone going to do to try and guarantee the success of the group?
I am going to inspire Gideon. So you get
Oh, brave Sir Gideon.
You can make a check as well as part of this because we want 3 successes.
uh,
So if you can argue a check that you might want to do here.
I could try ripping the sword out of my hand with my other hand.
Yeah, you can give it a try.
Sure. Will that be?
Yeah, give me a strength check then.
29.
Well, that's a save. That's a save. So, but it's
Oh,
still pretty no, it's fine. It's fine.
Sorry, go on. Sorry.
Right, Roxon, you begin to reach around with your other hand and begin pulling, and just because you're raging, you're just all your muscles are tensing, and you get a success absolutely. But the sword, like your whole palm of your hand, gets torn off, like the skin, attached to the sword as you just scream, and your sort of like bloody hand, now palmless, is no longer attached to the sword, which is now falling to the ground. As you all begin to see running out into the main into the main courtyard, all the shadows from the city all starting to grow towards you.
I'm going to cast teleport.
Okay, where are you going to teleport to?
The place we made, like, one of the place where we found the Pilestone guy, the Cranian.
Okay. Yeah, sure. You've just been there. I'll say that's fine. So you all huddle around Chinook, do you?
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so the sword landing on the ground, Chinook sort of saying, "Come over here," starting to play his flute. You're all gripped with the aura of teleportation magic as you vanish. It's a bit of a bumpy ride. It feels like you're transporting them through a lot of turbulence, Chinook. But when you arrive, whilst you feel quite shaken up, you do arrive back at that hut, and you see in the distance the sort of like storm clouds swirling above the city, all like crackling with angry energy and lightning.
Right. That was shit. Let's not do that again.
Yeah, that hurt.
What the hell was that? And he kind of turns to Epic.
What was what?
The shadows. Come on.
No, I don't know. That's not something I've ever seen before.
You seriously believe this guy?
What was that sword?
No, I don't believe him. What was that?
Roxanne, your hand is like bleeding like shit. Like you can almost see bone through it at this point.
Ow.
Oh no, I'm all
Chinook, hell.
I only have mass cure wounds.
Let me scare her away.
I'll give you guidance.
Thanks.
So you can suck it up more easily.
How much damage have you taken, sorry?
I don't think it would have been much. I don't know.
Yeah, you've taken 12 damage. So.
I've taken 12 damage.
I don't have many healing spells.
Like the hand thing isn't something that's going to kill you, so I didn't put any hit point damage for it. But it is painful. It is painful as shit.
I can give you a potion of regular healing if it'll help.
Maybe.
Just needs a nap, right?
I'll just don't worry.
Sleep
It doesn't
off.
hurt that much.
Put some cream on it, it'll be fine.
Yeah. So put some cream.
Yeah, keep it clean.
Fermented goat's milk.
I'll use prestidigitation to clean the wound.
Put a plaster on it. I'll kiss it better.
Oh, thanks.
Epic says, I don't understand who you are. Why have you come to my homeland and shown me this? I didn't ask for this.
We literally told you several times that our planet is in danger, and we came here to figure out what ways we can save it.
And frankly, it's
Epic
slightly...
just shuts itself off.
Hey! Roxanne just tries to shake him back awake. Hey, wake up!
It doesn't really awake.
Gives it a slap.
It buzzes awake again. Epic says, unfortunately, no. Hello?
Wake
Hello.
up!
Hello.
Oh,
Hey, don't you
how
go to
long
sleep
was
with
I
us.
out?
Sorry, what?
How long was I out?
A few seconds?
Oh, not hundreds of years.
Oh no, not again.
Okay.
If you see any of these guys and they look similar, then yeah, it's probably not been very long. If you just see me, then it could be no any length of time really. Anyway, could you come back with us to our own planet so we can try and get whatever information we can out of you to prevent this happening to ours?
I am actually unable to refuse such a request, according to my programming.
You're programming.
You have a programming?
Well, I have to follow certain rules. I uploaded my mind into this machine. But unfortunately, I have to still agree to a terms of service.
What
Oh,
are
no.
what are those? What are the terms?
The boxes.
What are those terms?
Oh, just that I have to always accept requests when it bequeaths the greater good.
The greater good.
Yes, it's actually quite broad on how it defines that. So
So is that based on? Is that just based on your own understanding of what the greater good is?
No, I have a dictionary.
Right. Huh.
Oh, that's great.
Anyway, yes, of course.
Is there anywhere else? Is there anywhere that you could suggest here that may have preserved some of the technology from your sort of some important technology from your civilization? It seemed like the technology itself was unharmed, even if Tilstones were.
Yes,
gone.
there is a base that I used to work at, not too far away from here. I'm sure that if they have anything, it will all be stored there.
Okay, that may be a good place for us to check out then.
Yes, probably a good place for us to leave off tonight then as well.
Oh,
All right.
nice way.
Yeah. So thank you for playing, everyone.
All right.
Running.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
running. Yeah.
Thanks.
I was expecting a combat when all the shadows came around and tried to kill us.
Well, who knows? Yeah, maybe. Right. Tell me when you're done with the stream.
All right. Right. See you next week, Russian spammers.